and I wouldn't advise anybody to use PPC. Right?
So the one in the box is PPC?
Yeah, those in the boxes, those are PPC, pay-per-click.
And the one underneath that would be...
These are organic.
Organic?
Yeah.
The Google AdWords.
The Google AdWords, that is this here.
It's part of the PPC.
Right.
Oh.
That is what you bid for, technically. Because you have to have a Google AdWords account
But it would only be used
to bid for those.
But it would only be, okay, for example, like you gave me an example about the Donald Trump.
Right.
So let's say within that 6 months of that happening, maybe I might invest in that, just for that short time.
So I give you an example of how this will, the other way this will hurt you. A baby is on a tablet, maybe that's phone. And then they are looking for something. And by mistake, they click on that, right? Because babies don't know what it is. They click on it. Could be interesting. They could stay for a little bit, maybe a minute, right? Or even less than that, a couple seconds. And then they oh no, this is not it. Then they bounce off. As soon as they bounce off, that's a bounce rate to Google. So to Google, you're not useful to their users. You see what I'm saying? Then they throw your website away. So it hurts you to keep going up.
So when would this be a good idea?
No, that
it's not.
To me, I never advise anybody to use that. But
and then keep in mind that he comes in with the expertise of SEO.
Yeah.
This is sort of his competition. So,
right.
But there is a time when PPC or these others advertising could be valuable. But again, it depends on your goals. His expertise around SEO. And that's what he's sharing. So he wouldn't advise, because yes, there's a drawback to both.
Right.
And that's instant.
Yeah.
Right?
That is
instant. You could be on first page of
but
Google in the next hour.
Right.
But you can't sustain being there.
You can sustain
for the next 6 months.
Right.
Unless you've got Coca-Cola budgets.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Unless you
Got
have
it?
a big budget.
Yeah. As a small business owner, that's probably not the most effective use of your funds.
Yeah, and if you read there is a recent article that came out that European Union, was actually suing Google AdWords for misleading some of the people. Well, like people invested and they were not getting the return on it. Yeah, so
Fraud clicks.
yeah, kind of fraud clicks. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the right term.
What happens is, since you're willing to pay for money, and Coca-Cola is willing to pay for money, Coca-Cola could say, you as a developer just keep clicking on his ads until he runs out of money, and you didn't deliver any business. But as soon as his budget's run out, my ads come in at a cheaper price.
Right.
And that becomes a fraud click, because no actual customer was signed up, but the budgets were used in the system.
Yes.
It's tricking the system, and
Yeah.
it's fraud clicks. Sure,
Right.
and that could happen.
That's the right term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So we jump into SEO, and that is what we were mainly talking. My main target was SEO. So with SEO, you're setting up yourself for the long term, for the search engine. So whenever somebody searches for your product or your service, you pop up first. Like for a plumber, it's going to be so useful for a plumber in Katy, in Sugar Land, or in a particular zip code where you're at. So we have two different kinds of SEO. We have the local and also mobile. Now with the local, this is where you're going to find your pizza places, your typhoon, or like water parks and stuff like that. Like actually what you're looking for in that particular area. Dry cleaners. You're searching gas station, auto shops, things like that you're searching for. So with local is what you can start out with. I have a client, he's an engineer, and he wanted to start out, but he has big computers. And I told him, hey, it's better if you start off in Houston first. Focus in Houston, and once you get your base in Houston, you get a foundation in Houston, then you can broaden out. And then you can go to different states. And he's thriving through that. Now he's getting another location in Dallas and Austin. So I would recommend going local first, depending on what kind of service or product you're offering. And then from that, then you can broaden out rather than competing immediately with big sharks out there. So with that local, that's where we fall in with the reviews,